Hey everybody, Tony D with a screenwriting tip. I know I haven't done one of these in a while, but I wanted to talk about trailers and what they mean and why I analyze them because whenever I criticize one, people, I don't know, some people get bent out of shape. So the thing about screenwriting and trailers is this. As a screenwriter, as anybody, it's easy to go to the Wikipedia page and read the description of the movie and glean the story from that. Because they'll just tell you what the hell the movie is half the time. Or you could go to the movie company's production webpage, or depending on the movie, it would be a big marketing push. You could go to the movie studios page. You can read all about the movie. That's not relevant to a screenwriter's rant. What I'm trying to do is to analyze the trailer to see if it works as a trailer with regard to the movie and whether or not the movie's coming out in the trailer. Now, trailers, if they're cut by the movie maker, and a lot of times in indie films they tend to be very story focused because independent movies tend to be story focused themselves. Because you have people trying to put together a low budget movie, and one of the things you can really work on, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money, is having a good story. But the problem with bigger movies a lot of times is they don't really need to work on the story all that hard. So, or they overdevelop the story and it becomes so convoluted or so wrapped around the stunts and the set pieces that there's not much of a story to it. So the other day I analyzed Army of the Dead. And look, it's my kind of movie. I like zombie movies. But there was virtually no story in the trailer. And that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. Now, it's a Netflix movie, meaning that they're a large enough company that they're like a studio. They have a marketing department and people who cut the trailers who are probably separate. You know, Zack Snyder's not going to necessarily have to sit down and cut the trailer. He might have, but probably not. They probably said, no, Zack, we got guys to do that. We'll cut a nice trailer. It'll be great. Or we'll cut 20 trailers. I mean, they'll cut a lot of trailers. You see on YouTube how many trailers they'll cut. They'll cut at least 4 or 5 of them, and that's probably not all of them. There's probably a dozen or so cuts of it. They just don't put them all out there. But if they're not very story driven, that's a bad sign because they are emphasizing the other aspects that aren't the story. And if you don't have a good story, in my view, you don't have a movie. The movie's going to be terrible because you'll get bored with seeing the set pieces and the explosions and the stunts eventually. Even in a big movie, say like the Fast and Furious, right? They're just going to throw these big elaborate stunts at you, scene after scene after scene. But there has to be something to hold it together. And I'm not saying that the Fast and the Furious franchise is epic storytelling necessarily, but it has at least some amount of story so you can hang your hat on. And really, at the heart of the story is the friendship between the various characters, the crew, if you will. I don't know what they call themselves. I don't watch the Fast and Furious movies. I'm not being a movie snob. It's just not my thing. I saw the ad for the first one, and I was just like, eh. And I missed 9 movies. So what am I going to go back and binge watch it now? Paul Walker's dead. Leave it alone. But the thing is, it's not an attack on the movie if the trailer's bad. Sometimes they just cut a bad trailer. I'll give you an example. There was a Tom Cruise movie where he plays an Irish immigrant. Nicole Kidman was in it, I think. It was like called Coming to America or something like that. I believe it was a Ron Howard movie. And the trailer, in my view, gave away the whole movie. I mean, it was like the entire story laid out. Like, you didn't have to see the movie. I already knew what was going to happen to, Tom Cruise's Irish character. He was going to do X, Y, and Z, the end. And some of the trailers I've analyzed have been like that. They literally give away the ending. The cheerleader abduction movie, the trailer for that, I felt looks like it completely gives away the ending. Now maybe there's a twist in there that they didn't show, but what you want to achieve in a trailer is you want to hint at things. You don't want to give away any big plot points, but you want to give us enough of a story to say, "Oh, I see where this is going. This will be fun." Right? So, in the case of cheerleader abduction, you just want to get across that someone abducts the cheerleader and that's bad, and what's going to happen. What's the movie really about? Is it about the abduction? Is it about the person who abducts the cheerleader and how crazy they are? Or is it someone who maybe is not totally irredeemable? Or is it about the cheerleader? She's abducted, but really she's in on it because she wants to punish her mom or something. Or in this case, cheerleader abduction is really more about the mom who comes to save her. She's running for governor and she saves her daughter. But in my view, the cut of that particular trailer didn't work because it wasn't really focused on the mother. It was kind of focused on the cheerleader. And the cheerleader wasn't all that exciting in my view. Now, that's not a slam against the actress, but it just seemed to be there. And if it's really about the mother sort of realizing she's ignored her daughter and she's got to save her, then we should see more character traits about the mother because the movie's about her. And again, bad sign that it wasn't. Same thing with the Army of the Dead. Because it was so focused on the stunts and the explosions, it's a bad sign. It's a sign that there's not much of a story there. Because if they were, they could cut the trailer around that. They would cut the trailer like, I'm not sure what the zombie movie's really about. It looks like it's a heist movie, almost, because there's a scene where they go inside a big giant safe full of money, and it takes place in Las Vegas. So maybe the premise of the movie is the zombies have come, but they're still part of the country that are zombie free and money is used. So this group of characters decides that they're going to go to Las Vegas and rob the casino and kill a bunch of zombies in the process. Personally, I don't think that would work, but maybe that's the premise. I don't know, because the trailer didn't tell me, and the trailer should tell me, because not everybody's going to go, oh, Army of the Dead, let me go to Wikipedia and the IMDb and the various movie websites and see what it's about. No, what they want to do is watch the trailer for 30 seconds to 2 minutes, get an idea of it, and go, yes, that's a movie I want to see, or no, I'm not wasting my money. Zombieland had a perfectly good trailer. It was about, first, the zombie invasion, but also, Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg and, running around and a couple of the key lines from the first Zombieland movie. And that made it looked fun. It looked like a fun zombie movie. Dave Bautista running around shooting zombies is cool. The helicopter going down the side of the building, cool shot. Explosions, very cool. But I still don't know the movie. I don't know who Dave Bautista is in the movie. Who is he? Why isn't that in the trailer? Why isn't that established in the trailer? Why don't we at least hear his character's name? Hey, Frank. Hey, Frank, want to go kill zombies? Yeah, sounds great. Like, I needed a couple of lines. Now, I could go to Wikipedia and find out who Dave Bautista's character is, but if you're not even going to tell me in the trailer, why should I waste my time seeing a damn movie? That's what the trailer is for. The trailer is to promote the movie. If it's not promoting the movie, fail. It's a failure. Now, as a screenwriter, I've been asked to write trailers or pick out the scenes that could be cut together as a trailer. And what you want to do is you don't want to give away the ending. That's number one. But B, you want to tell people what the hell the movie's about. So, if it's a horror movie, you want to say, this is a horror movie. You're going to be scared. Here are some scary scenes. Here's the main character. Who knows what's going to happen next? Watch horror movie. Now, the only kind of movie you got to really be careful with when crafting a trailer would be a mystery, or a movie which has a big reveal at the end, because you can't give away that big reveal, but you can hint at it. So the easiest one would be a murder mystery, and you'd say, well, a murder's happened. Oh no, who's done it? And there's various suspects, but you don't say, and here's the killer. You'd say, find out who the killer is, come see the movie, basically. With a movie like Army of the Dead, all you need really is the Act 1 setup. Why are they going to Vegas to fight zombies? And it could have easily been done in a couple of lines. We're going because there's $2 billion in a safe. We're going to get that money. That's it. That's all you need. And now you know what the whole movie's about. Now you can fill in the blanks yourself. There's zombies and there's a bunch of money, and these guys are going to go get it. And money is still a thing apparently in zombie times, if that indeed was the plot. If that's not the plot, then you got to give us a hint at what the plot is. And again, I'll probably still see the movie because I like zombie movies that much. But analyzing the trailer, in my view, as a screenwriter, is important. Because if you're not even going to take the time to put out a good trailer, why should I go see the movie? Now, granted, there are instances where there are terrible trailers and good movies. But it's my feeling that, first off, nobody wants to cut a bad trailer, even with a bad movie. You want a good trailer so people see the damn thing. It's the only way you're going to recoup your money. So, I don't think there's anybody invested in the idea of like, hey, let's cut a really bad trailer that confuses people. They want to cut a trailer that's good. And as I described, that's the only way. It's got to hint at the story, but not give it away. So, no one is looking to screw this thing up. You want it to work. Bad, good, indifferent movie. It has to work because it's all about selling it to a potential audience. But if you sit down and you realize, man, this movie's terrible, that's when you get a weird trailer that doesn't quite feel right. Where things don't come together, there's not really much of a dialogue thing happen, there's no sense of story or where the characters are, it's just a bunch of scenes cut together with a logo. That's a bad sign. That's a sign that the movie, if the trailer's that disparate, the movie is probably worse. And as you go up the chain in terms of budget and studio, the worse the trailer is, the more likely the movie's bad. Now, with a low budget movie, you have to kind of adjust your expectations. A low budget movie is usually cut by the director who maybe just doesn't have a good idea for a trailer. Maybe just doesn't have the budget, slap something together and that's it. Also, sometimes indie movies are bought up by distribution companies, a lot of times they are, and the distribution company cuts a trailer based on what they feel's best, which isn't always what the filmmaker thought was best. It's also true that those distributors really want to make their money back, so they're kind of willing to give away or mislead you more, I think, than, say, the filmmaker who has an emotional invested interest in cutting a trailer that shows the movie in the most positive light for its audience. So, analyzing trailers, I think, is an important skill. At least for screenwriters they are. Because when you're writing a movie, it's good to have a few scenes in it that you could think about for the trailer. Because a lot of times, movie companies will think that way too, especially on a low budgeter. If you have a couple of key scenes that you know are going to be in the trailer that have these really killer lines like, there are 900,000 zombies in Las Vegas, and we're going to kill them all. Like, that's a great line. That's an exciting line, and it's perfect for the trailer. It's perfect for a trailer like Army of the Dead. Like, ooh, that sounds like fun. Something that is on the nose enough, but also indicates more action, more story, and indicates more. All right? So, again, I don't watch the movie ahead of time. I generally try not to read any information about it. What I'm doing is I'm analyzing the trailer. So I watch the trailer. I used to watch it live, and you could see my reaction, but I can't do that anymore because stupid YouTube. YouTube flags me. Everybody else shows trailers. Nobody gets flagged. I show trailers, and I get flagged left and right. So I don't show trailers anymore. I click through the stills. I click through the trailer, keeping the stills on and the sound off, hoping not to get copyright striked. And I analyze the trailer. If the trailer's good, chances are the movie's decent, or at least watchable. The trailer's bad, chances are the movie's bad, or at least not very watchable. And that's how I analyze trailers.